How come the character Rick is taller than the real Rick? Nice. Hey, everybody. That's it. I'm canceling bacon the rest of the week. That's it. That was weak. Boo. Who had bacon this morning? Yeah. Anybody have coffee this morning? You're doing better than me. Hey, so welcome to Microsoft Ignite 101. I'm Joey Snow.
I'm Rick Claus.
We're also known as Patch and Switch. For those of you who painfully watch our podcast every other week, thank you. Those of you who watch our videos coming into the show, we thank you as well. What are we doing today?
Well, if they haven't watched our videos, they have to leave the room, actually. So.
No, I think the whole point is come here in case you didn't watch the video.
Perfect.
What are we doing?
This is MS Ignite 101, how to get the most out of the conference. If you're a newbie and never been before, if this is your first large tech conference, the first Microsoft Ignite conference, or even if you're a, what'd you call them, returning, you tweeted something, not first timers, it was...
a veteran?
A veteran?
Yeah.
Returner?
Yeah.
That works.
Reigniter. Oh, reigniter. Oh.
Reigniter.
Can we sign you up for marketing?
Yeah, I know. Perfect. Okay. There should be something in this little section here for you, regardless of your level of expertise in Microsoft Ignite. And there will be opportunities to ask questions. The mics will be live. Right now they are not, to prevent hecklers.
No. That's not going to stop them.
Okay.
We want this session to be as engaging as possible because we don't know what level you are at. So if you've got specific questions, we haven't hit them, you've got to talk to us. We're not going to kill you with slides. There's only 622, which is good for an hour session.
17 microseconds per slide.
And just so everybody knows, Rick and I have not seen this deck prior to us presenting it.
So we call it slide karaoke.
Exactly.
I gave you the clicker right there.
Oh, it's right there.
I'm working it. I got this.
Well done. Well done. All right. So this is Satya talking about kind of the transformation that we've been doing at Microsoft about obsession around customers. And this is something that Rick and I are extremely passionate about, and we've been passionate about for our entire careers at Microsoft. I've been at Microsoft 11 years now. You've been?
14.
14 years. Our roles are actually very customer focused. I sit in an organization that's called Customer and Partner Experience.
That's about as customer focused as you can get.
Pretty much. But the main thing, and the reason that I brought this slide in, is that who's been to an Ignite before? Okay, so we've got quite a few.
And returners, good.
Returners, and then the rest of you, I assume, are new, yes? Okay, so the reason I brought this slide up is that your feedback actually drives this conference. We make very significant changes to this event, sometimes even in real time based on feedback. That's how customer obsessed we are. Now, we have a lot of new things that are happening at Ignite this year. So if this is a returning time, this is a good session to be in.
Yeah.
If you've not been here, what we want to do is kind of give you the lay of the land because this can be very intimidating. Have you walked through this space yet? It's absolutely massive, and there's a lot of people here. So what we want to kind of do is start off a little bit with, this thing is huge. Where do I even get started?
Yeah, so the very first thing you should be aware of is obviously, if you're completely new to this environment, your first time it's in here, just everyone look over to your left. Look your left. That's my right. There you go. Look right. These are people. They're going to be known as conference attendees. You absolutely should say hello, introduce yourself, meet some new people. One of the strongest things that happens during Ignite and during tech conferences is you make new friends, you make new connections, and more importantly, you make professional connections to other people that are sharing similar pains and issues that you have that'll be able to help you out in the long run. Because post-Ignite conference, staying in touch, keeping those professional connections alive is where you get a lot of extra value from attending tech conferences all around, all up. So you made the very first step. You made it out of your bed. You grabbed some coffee and some sustenance of some kind, hopefully, and you're here in this room to learn more about connecting and working.
I didn't get any bacon this morning.
I know. It's because you got up late.
I know.
I had the meeting request set. You didn't oblige.
I know. I'm going just to tell a real quick personal story. So I just 2 or 3 weeks ago had to phone a connection that I've met through this event to help me out with something around helping out an exchange student at my school. It's not technical related. I knew that he's passionate about this thing because I took the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with him. And when the opportunity came up for me to leverage that knowledge, and I'm like, oh, I know somebody who knows this thing. Let me just call him. And I just opened Facebook Messenger and pinged him real quick. I said, you got a second? Phoned him, and we were able to have a conversation.
And just to qualify, you're talking not about a Microsoft Exchange student?
No, a high school foreign exchange student at our high school back home in Seattle.
How to help them migrate to Office 365 or something?
No, it was completely not tech related at all.
So,
believe it or not, I actually do talk about things not tech.
I know, just making sure.
Beer. You're right, beer. Now that you've gotten past that, and the other thing too, I know the introvert thing in all of us because we're all tech people. The two of us, we appear to be very extroverted, and then you see us late at night when we are just completely done, and we have to lock ourselves into very dark rooms to try to recharge. It can be a little uncomfortable to get outside of that comfort zone to meet people, but it's super important that you do that because it's amazing what that can do for your career, what it can do from a personal perspective. Just the cool people that are here at this conference and you share something. I've solved problems being an attendee at these conferences that I never knew another person had inside of their organization. I'm like, well, this is really wacky for us. And another guy's like, no, we've seen this before. So it's a really cool way to do things. The second thing, determine your goals for the week. What do you want to learn? Who do you want to talk to? Are there particular product teams, particular individuals? The first thing I can tell you about this, if you like a particular speaker, if you are a fan of, say, Jeffrey Snover or a Mark Russinovich or somebody, if you see them, unless they're like looking like they're like running to their next session because they're late like us, stop by and say hello. And then most importantly, what is it that you want to take away with you from this event? So just spend a few minutes tonight thinking about it and then make your decisions of where do you go next.
So that plays nicely into having a solid game plan. I thoroughly believe that even the best plan, once you hit the battlefield, just disappears and you just kind of go with it. But it's always good to have a plan going in for what you're going to be looking for each day. Obviously, you've gone through and looked through the schedule. You've made a game plan of sessions that you want to go off and see. Be observant of the fact that that needs to be able to change and be flexible, because you might find a new session, you might get a recommendation from someone else, you might decide to take in a theater session and find something phenomenal, but then that throws your breakout schedule out of whack, stuff like that. But just have a plan for knowing where you should be, give yourself some options, and then be flexible to be able to change and update that, as opposed to going in blank.
So because it's me, I'm going to completely tell you the opposite of what he just said, which is don't overdo it. So what he says is, right, have a game plan, but have that flexibility, but don't overdo it. Give yourself time to have rest, to have breaks. The amount of walking that you're going to do, just based on what I've done, is at any conference, right? You're going air conditioning to hot to air conditioning. You're meeting a lot of people. Give yourself time to just chill. Give your brain some time to kind of absorb some things. Schedule some expo time. Go talk to some of the vendors, some of the folks in the Microsoft solution area. I love hallway sessions. Those are my favorite. I'm sitting in a room like this, chatting with somebody next to me before the session starts, and then afterwards we're like, hey, let's go continue this conversation. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Let's just chat more because we've got something in common about the environments that we're working in or some questions there. And then, of course, we've got a bunch of hands-on experiences here that we brought back to Microsoft Ignite. So that's another opportunity just to kind of put your earbuds in, kind of zone out, and take care of you know, you're still absorbing some knowledge and stuff, but you're resting a little bit.
So we kind of came up with this a little while ago, and it seemed to pay off quite well. Had some feedback from the community. Set yourself a goal of trying to meet 5 new people every single day. And then if you multiply out the number of days, don't count today. Well, I guess you could. That's 5 times 5 is...
Carry the 1.
You got it.
Divide by 6.
The goal is to try to meet at least 20 people.
Oh, 20.
For the entire week. By meeting, that means making an actual professional connection, through a LinkedIn connection, through a business card, through just simply an email exchange or something like that. Try to find at least 20 people you're going to be meeting up with this week that you haven't met before to be able to extend and build your professional network.
And learn one thing about that person. And I'll go back to the story I mentioned earlier about our German foreign exchange student back in Seattle. I learned that one person has a passion around this thing, and it just stored in my memory bank somewhere, and when this thing came up, I was able to go back into the Rolodex. It's amazing, though, because I can pretty much repeat every lyric from every 80s song, but I can't remember why I went into the kitchen. But somehow I remembered to store that information.
That's called an age thing, by the way.
Speak for yourself. All right, orientation. This is campus orientation. All right, we all ready to get up? We're going to do the tour together? No, I'm just kidding. We can't do that. maybe later. What, where, and when is everything happening here at Microsoft Ignite?
Yep.
The first thing that we want to show you is we want to show you we are on a campus. It's just like college. There are multiple facilities in this campus. If we go all the way down the road, you will see the Hilton, Orlando, which is where a conference is called, that's called Envision is occurring. Envision is kind of an IT decision maker conference. It's an invitation only thing, but some of those Envision folks will come here. Do we have any Envision people in the room today? We've got one.
Hey, that's good.
Well done.
Nice.
Then you've got the North-South building. Now, for those of you who are wily veterans of our conferences in Orlando, that's typically where our expo hall has been. It's where a lot of our things have been. That's the one that's across the street. We are only using the North-South building one day.
And this came directly from feedback from last year.
Absolutely. The amount of walking last year was far too much. We need everything more centralized. We were missing sessions. We couldn't get from one place to another. It just took too long to get there. So we consolidated it all. So North-South will be used tomorrow. Day one, it will be used for keynotes, general sessions. That's it. And we'll cover what those things are in a slide coming up. All right? In between, directly in between, you have
the Hyatt Regency. The Hyatt Regency does have some sessions inside of it, some breakout rooms for extra space. They've tried to group those logically so that they're more of the entry-level, introductory, 100, 200 level kind of sessions that are taking place. Plus, it's also where a whole bunch of different media relations folks have to go for doing executive meetings, customer meetings, that sort of stuff like that. That's all inside the Hyatt Regency. But it is connected nicely with a nice air conditioning break if you needed to, if you're traveling from north-south down to west. But that's basically the Hyatt Regency.
And then you're here in the West Building. This is where the bulk of the sessions are going to be.
The main place.
The main place. Most of your sessions are either going to be on this level, the second level will be upstairs to the third level. You've got swag stations to pick up your swag and pick up your badge if you're in here without a badge. Security?
Yeah.
Oh. There are, and we'll talk about all the other things that exist. Pretty much anything that you're going to need as an attendee exists in every one of these buildings. So we're not making you go to one building for one specific thing like food. The only thing that you'll need to go over to the North-South building for is if you want to be in the room for the Vision keynote with Satya Nadella or in some of the general sessions that are over there. Other than that, everything's at Hyatt and West. So what does our agenda look like?
Yeah, I like this slide actually. It's kind of good. If you look at right now, obviously, you've got the Microsoft Ignite 101 prominently featured on the left-hand side of the slide. And then you also have pre-day workshops that are taking place. Because you're not inside your pre-day workshop, you're here with us. We're assuming that you did not register for a pre-day workshop. Don't point those at people. I told you. It's dangerous. But then we have Mondays through Friday breakdown. And just visually looking at this, breakouts are the big meat and potatoes, of what you're going to be looking at for your conferences. There's two different formats of them, either 75 minutes or 45 minutes. Again, from your feedback, you wanted to have more sessions, want to be able to have a different flexible schedule. And so some people, like myself, are going to be delivering 45-minute sessions this year, as opposed to 75s. And then you also have, again, the ability to go through and work out the schedule for that across Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But Monday's a bit different. Want to talk about Monday a bit?
Yeah, Monday is very different because what we traditionally have done in the past is we have a keynote that kind of sets this high-level expectation. And that's going to be the same this year with Satya Nadella, right? He's going to kind of go and talk about his vision. This was probably one of my favorite sessions from last year with Satya's vision keynote. Then after that, we're going to get down into kind of more technology keynotes. We're going to break it down another level where you go into things like modern workplace and Azure. And then from there, you'll get down into some general sessions, which is just another level deeper. So you get this broad vision, the overview about the products, some big product announcements are going to happen in those technology keynotes. Well, at least I know my product has some announcements.
Yeah, we got a bunch in Azure.
Cool. And then you'll go down to the general sessions where you can listen to folks like Brad Anderson and Julia White and others there.
Now, notice that there's a very large gap between the technology keynotes and then the general sessions. That's to facilitate the movement of bodies between the buildings, also recharging and refueling and grabbing food, as opposed to trying to cram you through everything super fast. Again, feedback we heard last time. Other feedback that we heard last time as well is that you still wanted to have technical sessions coming up, and that's why they have our first round of breakouts that are there. What's missing from this slide that's extremely important, that we'll talk about in a little bit, is the fact that there are also the session type called theaters. They're sprinkled all throughout, and they're absolutely cool nuggets of information, 20-minute sessions that are in there, and basically they wouldn't be able to show up on the slide if we put them.
Yep. Oh, real quick. At the end of every evening, there is some sort of social hour in the expo hall. Tomorrow, it will be what we get constantly. We're told we're not supposed to call it this.
Use this term.
But we're going to call it the same. We call it trash and trinkets. Right? So
It's the first opportunity you have to be able to run the gauntlet, visit all your favorite partners and booths and that sort of stuff, and get first dibs at what the cool swag is. And that plans out the rest of your week for being able to do return visits.
we'll also have some food, some beverage.
Yeah.
Alcoholic and not. We're diverse. And then there's an expo social hour at the end of every evening, at least in terms of Monday. So Monday's the expo hall welcome reception. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll have some social hours. These are really cool. We've got some really cool people coming into some of the community lounges that exist. And then, of course, on Thursday night is the attendee celebration, which we'll talk about more. And please note that the conference does close on Friday at 2 p.m.
If you're still here at 3 o'clock, you're going to be packed up in a box and sent back home. That's my thought, at least.
So as we mentioned, we have spent a lot of time reinventing this conference every single year. So again, what we want to do is get 20,000+ of you together along with our engineering teams. I have just so I sit inside Azure Active Directory. So just within my engineering team, I want to say I have 50+ people from my engineering team here. Azure, I'm sure it's a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
And really get to come together, collaborate, figure out some things. Let me tell you a secret. The way my product works and the way that a lot of our products work now is we don't build features without that. So which customer asks for this? I've watched features die in reviews when our CVP stands up and asks, what customer asked for this thing? And they go, well, what do you mean? We just came up with it. It's like, no, if it's not customer driven, it's not coming into the product. So your feedback and input here is extremely valuable to us. We have heard you. If you've been here previously and you're like, dude, we got to get out of this like 100 level session world. We need to get deeper technical. 60% of the content that exists at this event is between 300 and 400 level. That is something that we have been really, really working hard to get better. I will caveat that with a little asterisk that says that does not include the theater sessions. Some of the theater sessions are designed to give high-level overviews. That said, there will also be technical sessions in the theaters. It's just if you look at the breakouts, that 60% number comes from the breakouts, not just from all of the sessions that are available, just so you know. You wanted more hands-on, we brought that to you through the hands-on lab, through the
Workshops.
immersion workshops, and then some one-on-one expert sessions that you can have.
We've got a slide coming up on this one here talking about diversity and looking at being more inclusive. We definitely have a continuing effort to be more inclusive with our speakers, with our content, and also with our product development as well. And so we got 20+% of the speakers are female. And we have diversity and inclusion activities going on, not just as a special track once or as special luncheons. We actually have them going on throughout the entire week in different areas, different content sessions, different formats. So very, very cool stuff going on there. It's something that we're very passionate about, being dads of girls ourselves that are interested in technology. We also have, from an attendee experience, a new and improved attendee app. I literally just got the notice updated today. I had to update it again on mine.
Yeah.
And it also warned us that, hey, if you're new and you haven't been here before, there was a message that came across, come out to the 101. I didn't even know that. It just literally told me from a thing. We have a demo on this one?
It's a 100-level session. How do we have a demo?
I thought you cut the demo from it, so good thing I came prepared for it a little bit. So I just wanted to show one thing about this, because this app gave me some questions that I wanted to do, mainly around the whole concept of being able to find stuff. On the left-hand side, I wanted to just call this one out for viewing stuff. Obviously, you can go through and look at your schedule. You can also do evaluations through the application once you've gone through and gone to different sessions. But where is it? It's the maps. So when I first went to maps, I'm like, geez, that's a really small conference. Like, there's nothing there. I can't see anything. How is this working? And then I realized, usability-wise, in the bottom right-hand corner, it says floor 0. If you change that to floor 1, boom, it lights up. I thought my app was broken, so that's a user error on my part. Once you're in level 1, here's the West building. I go in and take a look at it. I zoom in even further. It still is missing a whole bunch of details because what room are we in here? 224.
224.
Go to 2, and then magically it lights up.
Oh.
So I did not know that.
I didn't either.
So an example, here's the Hangout. We'll talk about the Hangout a little bit later on. There's the view of the expo hall floor down to the detail level of where each individual booth happens to be as well. So
that's
very,
cool.
very handy. I did not know that. My problem for not checking my app more recently. But I wanted to make sure I at least showed that one off to you. But also in here, also very good to be able to find, and we'll talk about this later on as well, is the concept of the expert finder, being able to find individuals that you've seen speak, that you have different categories of expertise, that sort of stuff. Good way to be able to do that. This is an opt-in option. You have to choose to share your information publicly with the attendees. It's not shared off to everybody. If I go in here and I type in JoeySN, oh, there you are, Joey Snow. I can pull up Joey Snow's profile because he made his public.
I did.
And there we go. You can see, oh look, connections to Facebook and to Twitter because you publicize that. The fact that you're delivering a one-on-one, which is nice.
Yes.
And then also, oh look at that, we have a podcast going on.
We do?
It says Pod 101. They actually gave us a code.
That's awesome.
Pod 1017. So your app is your friend. Daily updates, content updates, as rooms change, as reservations change, as repeat sessions get added, that sort of stuff. It's all going to be inside of your app for any kind of constant updates. Make sure you pay attention to it, load it up, and use it is my plug for that particular app.
So to get the application, go to your favorite app store, search for the Microsoft Events app, or make it easier for you, you can go to aka.ms/ignite.mobile app. And it's on every single slide. When you walk into every room, you see it scroll past. Or just go look for the MS Event app, and then you go into there and sign in and so on and so forth. Cool? So the application is your friend. It has your schedule with you. It's got the ability to go find other sessions, other things that are happening, connect with your favorite speakers if they've registered in. You can follow us on Twitter right there, or go into LinkedIn and get a request through LinkedIn. So super cool. All right, so we've talked about the campus, we've talked about the application. Now let's talk about what we're really here for, which is the content. So the way that we break down the content is that you've got the vision keynote with Satya. That's our CEO comes out and delivers the vision. Then we drop into 3 technology keynotes. That second layer, right? And then from that second layer, we're going to go deeper still into the individual technologies with 9 general sessions. And that's pretty much the first half-ish of Monday.
Yep.
After that, we open up to 700 plus breakout sessions and 500 plus theater sessions. That's a lot of sessions. We've got one-on-one learning with particular SMEs. You've got pre-day, deep dive learning. We're getting deep about Microsoft Ignite in this room. No? Okay. I wanted to make it a 400-level session. They wouldn't let me. There's some awesome pre-days that are going on. It's a paid experience, so if you want to come back next year, there's some amazing day-long things that hurts. I helped my team kind of organize it, and it hurt my brain just even looking at the outline.
Yeah, so to call that out, the pre-day sessions, they are only available if you're registered. They're not recorded for view by the public. It's basically got to be there to be able to get the session, and it's not content that's repeated during the week. So there's definite value for being able to go off and take a look at that stuff.
Some things that a lot of folks don't know, you can get free exam prep, and you can take exams while you're here at Microsoft Ignite. So the exam prep is led by Microsoft certified trainers, people who can help you get ready for that. If you are a fan of Jeremy Chapman's show, Microsoft Mechanics, and his millions and millions of people that watch his show, you can watch them film episodes down on the expo hall. Or if you're more into certain podcasts, I know our friends at Windows Weekly,
Yep.
with Mary Jo Foley and Paul Thurrott, they're going to go live Tuesday, you said?
Yep. Even
We're
Brad.
doing our podcast in the podcast center on Thursday.
Yep.
But here's the coolest thing. Every single session outside of day 0 today, whether it's a theater session or a breakout session, is recorded and they're live streamed. So if you've got colleagues back at home and you're in a really cool session, you can just pop up in whatever communication application that you use with them and say, yo, go log in and check this out. Now, to do that, there are two different ways to watch the stream content. The first one is the curated content.
Yep, on the tech community's website, no login required, and then you get a curated view of stuff that my team has chosen as far as breakout content's concerned, as well as custom interview segments that fill in the gaps in between the breakout sessions, so 2 50-minute interviews. But if you register with tech communities and have a login ID with tech communities to go in one level further, that's where you get the player that has all the options for every single room breakout on a drop-down list for when the breakouts happen to start.
So we've got sessions that are not only delivered by Microsoft, but also delivered by our community, our MVPs, our regional directors. There are daily meetups with different community groups. So every day there's a different one in the community central zone. There's one that's around Azure.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's one around identity, which is being led by my VP, Joy Chick. So that's super cool to watch her and meet and greet and chat with her and some other identity people. There's one, there's several. The Jeffrey Snover one, which I've already signed up for, because I'm a fanboy, so I want to go chat with Jeffrey.
Yeah, one of the best ways is basically talk with other folks and also follow the MS Ignite hashtag to find out more about those different communities. I'm going to do a call out because it's my group for the cloud operations advocates or cloud ops advocates and the cloud developer advocates. Basically, we were involved. We come from technology backgrounds, consulting backgrounds, community backgrounds. We now all work at Microsoft, and basically it's our role to be the advocates of our customers with the engineering teams to also bring in feedback, but then also provide resources back to you. The content's been helped to be planned out and vetted for what's going on. We're going to be hanging out for the most part inside the community zone areas for the bulk of the week, and you'll see where we are. There's a couple in the room that are here right now. There's Pierre over there. You got Michael over here and Bartolos. There's a bunch that are here. Definitely cool stuff. We should probably get to the maps to show some maps.
Yeah, the one thing I want to call out is there's a piece of information that we have heard loud and clear from our customers, and I hear it all the time from my customers. They want to see how our customers are using our product. They want the showcases of, hey, how did a company that's in a similar vertical than mine actually use these solutions? What is it that they're doing? Let me talk to them. Because a lot of times, and we fight this every day, right? Both of us worked in IT for a long time. Your boss the pointy-haired boss doesn't want to do anything unless somebody else did it first, right? So you need those customer stories, and we have this amazing customer showcase. These stories are being told via sways. They're being told in person in some booths. There's some awesome things that are happening from that perspective. One last item, diversity and technology. This is something that we're both passionate about, as both of us having girls, as Rick mentioned. This is what I love about this conference. It used to be there was like some luncheon on a Tuesday afternoon, and that was it. That is no longer the case. Diversity and technology is ingrained through the DNA of this event, through various lunches that are occurring. There's a pre-day that has been going on since 9 o'clock this morning around it. There are podcasts focused specifically around diversity and technology. Everything that we do in terms of designing this event and making inclusivity and accessibility a part of it, whether it be captions, whether it be able to have access to seating in front of rooms for accessibility. There's happy hours, there's lounges, specific sessions, so it's throughout this entire event. Diversity and technology is a part of.
Let's break it into keynotes, day one, next section.
All right. I hate to break the news to you folks, but not every single person here that's registered gets to fit in the room across in the North-South building. There's just so many attendees here that we're going to have to break out your keynote viewing experience.
So if it's important for you that you want to have the experience of being in the room, you need to get there early. Shuttles will start leaving from hotels and dropping off
at the North-South
building. If the shuttle gets diverted away from the North-South building, that basically means that we're at capacity. They're going to bring you down here to the West building for one of 3 different viewing areas that you can go off and take a look at. So I know some people, that's all that they come for, is to be able to get front row seating at the Vision keynote, and so they make sure they get there nice and early to be able to go off and do it. For viewing options.
In the West building, you've got the Mechanics Live stage, so you'll see that when the expo hall opens up. You'll be able to see that there is a really cool little stage and some cushy seats. If you watched our video that we published last night when we did our expo hall sneak peek walkthrough, if not, go find it, Patch and Switch on Twitter and look at the nonsense that we posted. You'll see the cool seats that we have there. You've got it in the Hangout. The Hangout is one of my favorite areas. We like to call it the big betting wall, but we get in trouble for that too.
But it's literally a massive screen that is the width of the building that they basically stitch together into one high-resolution display.
Yep.
I don't know how many pixels across it is, but it's some phenomenal number.
It's at least, yeah, a couple of K.
I think it's like
couple thousand.
24K or something like that.
I don't know.
Whatever. Huge amount of stuff, but then they go through and they have very nice seating areas, power in the seats, comfy seats to be able to go off and watch it. So that's actually a really cool place to watch inside the Hangout. However, we're rather partial to the fourth option.
Yes.
Because with Patch and Switch, what we do is we actually have a bit of a morning show that kicks off with some guests and some other housekeeping information before. So basically, the show starts at 8:25, 8:30-ish.
Yeah, our show. Yes.
Our show.
Yes.
And then we have some guests. We have some content we're not going to talk about just yet.
Yep.
And then we have ourselves out of the way when the content actually starts in the main room, and they project it inside that particular role.
That's in Hall E. Go out to the right and go down that
Keep on going. When you think you've gone far enough, go even further.
Yes.
Basically, 8,000 seating capacity inside that room. So come on.
Hopefully 2 or 3 show up.
Yep.
Transportation schedule. I just want to mention it. It's pretty simple. There are buses in the morning, and then there's buses late afternoon and in the evening. They do not run all day. If you need to get back to your hotel, if you need to go off-site, you're walking, or you can use one of your favorite transportation methods. There's the iDrive shuttle. There's trolley.
Yep.
Uber, Lyft, whatever ride-sharing service that you use. But just want to call out that shuttles do not run all day. There is a connector shuttle for those of you not wanting to, or to be more accessible friendly, make it easier for you to get from the north-south building tomorrow to sessions over here in the west building, and then back if for some reason your technology keynote and your general session are in 2 different spaces. So there are shuttles tomorrow that will run from 6:30 in the morning until 3:30 to get you back and forth between the north building and the west building. There are also shuttles that will get you to and from the attendee celebration, which is at Universal Studios, that they run from 7 p.m. till 8:30 out, and then at 9:30 they start running back.
A tip, if you're a roller coaster fanatic and you want to get there early, you're going to want to show up before they start to run at 7 o'clock to be at the first bus that goes off and hits the parks. So be aware of that. Don't just assume that if you're going to be there at 7, your other 2,000 friends didn't think of that as well and got there first and got there early. So definitely be aware of that.
If you want the Wi-Fis, we have Wi-Fis. You want to go to connect to MSFT Wi-Fi password is Microsoft with a capital M.
Don't share that with anybody.
It's secret.
Secret.
To improve your experience, make sure you're not connected to an ad hoc peer-to-peer network. Make sure you're in an area that supports Wi-Fi in big rooms.
We did an interview with the guy that designs and runs and maintains this particular Wi-Fi network that's done. We bring in our own gear, and the stuff that they go through is insane. So there are spots, there's a spot literally right over here. It's actually keeping my legs warm right now. I can feel it down there. So there's definitely lots of spots, definitely lots of places, but you are going to be sharing this with 25, 30,000 of your closest friends. So there will be areas of congestion. So we're asking also to please be responsible, turn off any kind of file sharing, turn off any torrenting, turn off all sorts of nasty stuff you might be doing. We also have various different security teams that are potentially doing some stuff on there to make sure that we have good citizens on the Wi-Fis. So please just be responsible with it.
No rogue access points, no Wi-Fi sharing. Just make it easier for everybody. It runs better when you don't try to add your own.
Yeah.
And we like to add our own because we're network guys, so that's what we do. Food. This is a big thing, food. Now I'm going to start with this. If you came to a conference for the food, you went to the wrong conference. If you really wanted a good food conference, you can go to Epcot. They've got this food and wine festival. It's fantastic.
However,
it's a conference.
Yeah.
We do the best that we can, really, because when you're feeding 20,000 people. But this is the cool thing. We used some really amazing data, and when you look into the data about the attendees and their experiences based on what they've written in feedback through evaluations, based on what was consumed, the type of food that was consumed, there's just a ton of data. We actually came up with some really cool personas There is the grab and go guy. That is 100% me. I don't have time to sit down and have a meal most cases. I'm looking to grab a sandwich, grab a salad, go rolling out, go to the next thing, maybe sit down and have a chat outside of the food area with somebody that I'm talking to, or maybe I'm late for booth duty, which is pretty typical of me. So I've just got to grab something and eat it on the way. And then there's the...
It's more of a sit and savor kind of person like myself, where I like to sit and savor, which allows you to basically go in and build exactly what you want to eat onto your plate or tray or your box, whatever it happens to be. Go down, sit and socialize with people inside of the room, and not have to look about being as accelerated to get out of there. So I like to network and basically recharge while I'm doing stuff.
So breakfast will be served hot each morning in the West Eateries. Tomorrow, West and Hyatt Eatery.
Right.
Tomorrow that will also be available in North South, and there's bacon. Okay.
There's multiple types of...
I'm in. Yeah. I'm all in. Can we... There's a cooler in the backpack. Did you see that? Can we like just bring bacon in and just start doing it?
Don't do that.
No? Oh,
no,
sorry.
Don't do that.
Lunch is served in the West Eateries and the Hyatt Eatery. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are eateries everywhere. When you're on Expo, there's like 4. Just within that West Expo Hall, there's like a little one, there's a market, there's a small one over here, there's 2 great big ones, there's another larger one at the back behind the betting wall, there's another one on the other side and closer to the A side of things. Yeah, there are places to stop to eat all the time. And it's not just gonna be the standard kind of box lunch type of stuff. There will be a hot option at every meal. That's based on the feedback that we got. Hot option, there will be a hot option.
And also, likewise, to make sure you're still fueled up for the rest of the day, there will be different break times, morning and afternoon break times, also with various different options, some of which are healthy.
Please tell me there's ice cream.
There may or may not be times when there will be ice cream as well.
Ice cream. But
there's a variety of different things that can be there, but there's also, you know, carrots and vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. And
not that there's anything wrong with carrots and vegetables.
But you're going for the ice cream, I know.
I know. Yeah. Pro tip, best time to network at a table. If you're with your colleagues, split up. It's pretty rare that you'll see the 2 of us eating a meal together.
That's because of the restraining order.
Not supposed to talk about that.
That's why I'm over here on this side.
Joe, we split up. We generally split up just to make sure that we can talk to as many attendees as we can. And it's a great opportunity to just find a table. Hey, I'm Joey. Who are you know? And what do you do? And then you can just start the conversation from there. People are like a little too introverted and they don't want to chat. That's cool too, but at least you made the effort, right? Okay, couple more things on some logistics. 1, Microsoft speakers. They will have the orange lanyard. Yeah. Except for us, we have a normal white one.
We have white for some reason. We don't know why. I think it's because
I don't think we're official speakers.
Like yeah.
In the showcase, the Microsoft showcase, Microsoft people who are working in the showcase will have these dark gray hoodies or jackets with the full color Microsoft logo on them. They're not hard to find.
Oh, and then we have a demonstration lanyard over here just to be able to show.
That's 2 demos in one session.
I know, eh? Orange means that Pierre over there is a speaker, and he also has a green at the bottom, and it says Microsoft speaker on it.
Nice. Now, the most important people at this event, our favorite people, are those that are out in the hallways who are standing outside the doors wearing those purple shirts.
Purple shirts.
They are event staff. They can help you find, they'll scan you, they can point you in the right directions. They have like little tablets.
Answer your question.
They are fueled by high fives. So we need our purple shirts to maintain their fuel. So if you walk by a purple shirt who doesn't look like he's just not there, he just doesn't have the energy, give him a high five.
Gently give them a high five. Don't surprise them out of the blue when they're doing something and like, gently give them a high five.
Speaking from experience. All right, so that covers the campus.
Yep. Let's dive in. Let's dive in the expo hall. This is the one I like over here.
All right.
So we put our logistical game plan on here to be able to show you all the optimal walking paths to be able to get to all these different areas. Main thing on this slide is simply, hey, look, there's multiple different bus drop-off points and also crossover access entry points as well. On your left-hand side of the screen is the A's. On the right-hand side of the screen is the E's and F's as far as how far away and how far across that is. You're currently in a portion of this closer to C-ish, I think it was.
We're right about here.
C or D, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is our room.
There you go. So, it's very, very cool inside of the Microsoft Showcase area, the expo hall, where that is.
So I mentioned we have a ton of eateries. There's one in Hall A, there's one in Hall B, there's one in Hall D. And then there's a small little market that sits up in here. Ish. So what you'll see if you look down inside for what we call the expo area, you have the Microsoft Showcase. We're surrounded by our partners. I'll dive deeper into this. You have, oh, and by the way, all the maps on your app show this cool stuff.
Oh yeah, don't forget though, switch to level 2 to be able to zoom in, to be able to find the stuff inside the expo hall.
You've got the Learn, Connect, Explore zone, which includes the Immersion Zone, the Hangout, Mechanics Live, the Podcast Center, Community Center. There's a park.
Literally
with trees.
Real trees in there.
Real trees.
Yep.
He knows they're real trees because well, we won't get into that. And then also this is where our hands-on experiences are. And then you'll see the Technology Keynote General Session, Hall E, which is where we are tomorrow.
Yeah, and that large eatery, the Eatery D, that is behind the massive screen. Just in case
so you see the massive screen is there.
Yeah.
There. All right. The Microsoft Showcase. Now, this is really cool. As I mentioned, Microsoft sits in between, and then all of our partners are on the outside. And there is actually kind of a cool little layout. Now, what you will notice, and we'll cover this in a moment, there's this huge, really cool thing in the middle. And around that really cool thing are the three major things that we're doing here at this conference to push, which is developer tools, deployment, and security. Now, the reason why we're doing some of these things is that developer tools span our products.
Security spans our products.
Security spans our products. Deployment spans the products.
Right.
So we need to try to get as many experts in security. So Azure Active Directory, my product, sits as part of security. But then there's Graph. That also sits inside of security. And then there's Azure Information Protection. So there's a lot of tools that don't necessarily fit together in terms of if we went product by product, but they make sense to come together. So we put those together. You can identify them. They're these big cubes. They're like 3 feet tall cubes. And they're right in the middle, right from the big center object. And then out from there, you'll see the normal, typical Microsoft booth thing. You see Modern Workplace, Business Applications, Data and AI, Apps and Infrastructure.
The biggest advice I can give you about understanding this when you actually go in there and see it is look up. If you look up, you'll be able to see the different solutions, the different product names, and the different areas of interest and focus if you just look up as opposed to looking at ground level and looking at the trees through the forest.
And on that, all the signs that are up above are all Microsoft signs. So you won't be confused that you're going to end up at a partner's booth. These are all the Microsoft signs that are hung from above. Partners can only go so far high on their booth, but they're actually really high. But they can't hang signs from the top. So we've got this thing. It's called the Landmark Experience Intelligent Cloud Intelligent Edge. What is it, Rick?
It's a boldly, highly visible, interactive installation of circular screens and moving rings to incite wow, while telling the story of Microsoft's worldview, mission, and solution areas.
I don't know what that means.
I didn't write it.
Look, so it's got some cool swag. It's got an interactive game. There's this really cool lighting program that goes through it.
But I think it's really cool because it actually has links to the customer stories, explanations, gamification, if you will, to explore the different solutions that were part of it, and they give you clues and hints about where you should go off and talk to if you happen to find a similar experience that you want to go through. Really, really cool. We tried this out at an internal conference. And also
it was at Inspire, too.
At Inspire. Yep. And it paid off really well. People really liked it.
Yeah.
And so it's literally in the center.
Yep. The other thing, too, there's one cool thing. If you have a problem, but you're not quite sure which Microsoft technology will help you solve it, when you walk into the expo hall, there's this area that's just off to the left, and you walk into Hall B in the main Hall B entrance, and it's called Solution Navigators.
They have topographical maps, orientation skills, and
not that kind of navigator.
Compasses.
No, Solution Navigator. So these are folks from our consulting side of business that understand the breadth of Microsoft products and how things tie together. So if you go to them and you say, hey, I have this thing where I need to have my users prompted for this thing on their phone before they access this other thing, and then I need them to protect the data, and you're not sure what one of our products solve that, you can talk to our Solution Navigators and they can help you.
They'll basically point out the different areas to break down for those people you should talk to, give you directions on how to get to them, and also answer some other questions too. Now, I want to throw the Hyatt map in here, even though you were going to be spending the bulk of your time, more than likely, inside the West Hall. The Hyatt overview, basically, if you take a look, you've got breakouts in light blue. Those are going to be the breakout areas on level 1. Primarily is going to be what's of interest to the folks in this room. The rest of the stuff is, well, there's a little bit of a hangout there too, I guess, and some food and beverages for green and for yellows, so that's kind of cool. But the rest of the stuff are executive meetings, media centers, and things like that, so you're probably not going to be inside of those areas.
The Expert Finder. If you are looking for a particular attendee to see if they are on the show floor, those of us who are Microsoft attendees and experts,
people that work the booths, people that speakers, people that are there for answering questions.
We have these little embedded RFID things in our badges. So when we walk onto the expo floor, you will see that we are on the expo floor. Unfortunately, it doesn't target, or fortunately for some people, doesn't target exactly where we are on the expo floor, but you know that we're going to be in the building. So it's something that you can search for. You can search for staffers in particular technologies. This is really cool in cases where maybe you came to me and you're like, hey, Joe, I've got this question about this certain thing. And I'm like, oh, I know the guy. You got to talk to Mark Morrow. Mark Morrow knows all of this stuff. And you're like, all right, cool. Where is he? And I'm like, he's delivering a session. So you just simply put his name down, and when he comes back in, you can do a quick glance. Oh, Mark's there. So run back to the booth and have a chat. So you're not having to constantly drive by the booth. Who likes swag? We all got swag, right? Did anybody, who's not picked up their stuff? Okay,
Yep.
so you have to do that immediately after this session. Go down, it's just down on the first floor, but you just walk down this little line. You get to run the gauntlet. We have both male and female t-shirts.
Again, from feedback.
Yep, we have the t-shirts on, right? I'd show you, but my microphone's gonna just, yeah. You can pick a gray or a black backpack. I like the black one.
I call them charcoal and slate.
Ooh.
I tell you. Same goes for the water bottles too. Transparent or charcoal. But that I don't think I want to drink water that's charcoal water.
It's a filter.
Oh, I guess.
And then you get to pick one color headset. You get to pick orange, green, or blue.
Right.
And make sure you have your headsets with you, because if you're in the Hangout or you're trying to do a hands-on lab, it can get fairly loud. But in the Hangout, you get to watch. What they do is that one big screen becomes lots of little screens for sessions.
And then you pick the number on the dial on the arm of the chair to basically plug into and be able to listen to.
All right, I'm going to rip through a couple of slides because I want to get to your questions. So accessibility, whether it's vision or hearing or mobility, we've got you. On your app, you can actually get the captions from any session, including this one. If you need it, it's available through the application. With the number of women attending our conference, if you're a new mom, we've got a new mom's room. And that's new this year, right? Card keys are not required to access them. So they are located in the Hyatt Regency on level 1, in the Rainbow Springs room, and also here in the West Building, level 3, there's a show management office, WB4. All right? There are prayer rooms and quiet rooms. If you need a quiet room to recharge, it's not designed to have a big long nap. Sorry, Rick.
Just because you caught me last year doesn't mean.
Rest your eyes, just chill. Make sure you turn off your phones, so on and so forth.
Supposed to have conversations in there.
But like, I like this thing. We just decided to go in and just tell everybody to get out about like 4 o'clock and say, we're going to take over Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. Couple of keynotes, key things, not a keynote.
Yeah.
We don't need to do a
There's
keynote.
no keynotes at the Ignite celebration.
No?
No keynotes.
They scheduled me for one though.
No.
On the Hulk roller coaster. Doing the safety briefing. Shuttle schedule, as we noted earlier, you must wear your conference name badge to get in. It is your pass. You will not be allowed in the door without it. So what is the one thing that we should bring to Universal Studios? Your name badge. If you like to consume alcoholic beverages, you will want to bring a valid photo ID because they are only allowed to give you 1 drink at a time per ID.
Yeah, it does not mean that you only get 1 drink, by the way.
That is correct.
Some people interpret it that way.
No, it's just at a time. It's just at a time. Yes. We don't have those budget restrictions this year. They cut our budget, but that's okay.
Yeah. But then the big part is leave your bags, your backpacks, your excessive extraneous devices. Like, just minimize stuff. You're going to a theme park, right? So,
yeah. Pack light. You have to go through security checkpoint when you get in. So be a good neighbor to your friends that are coming in and have that. If you are curious about what is allowed and not allowed at Universal, they have it on their website. You can take a look there.
Yeah.
If you need to print, or if you get a whole heck of a lot of swag and you want to ship it home,
I never thought about that. I'm like, why do you
where's
think
Spoons? Is Spoons in here? Spoons loves to collect his swag. You can ship it home. Who brought an extra duffel for t-shirts? Come on, admit it. Admit it. Yeah! No, that's cool. I do too. I like my conference t-shirts. You can actually, there is a FedEx located here in the West Building on level 2, just around from where Reg is, where the swag is. You'll be able to see it when you go down to pick up your swag. And it's open from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. 8 till 5. So after the event, when you've collected all your swag and you realize, holy crap, I got to send all this stuff home, you can do that. So that's how you can connect with us on the social media. The Twitter hashtag is hashtag MSIgnite. If you need to get in touch with somebody official from the event, they follow at MS_Ignite, so MS_Ignite.
But there's a whole raft of people that follow the hashtag of MSIgnite as it is.
And then we have the tech community. So sessions that are being streamed via tech community, we as speakers who have sessions, including this one, will answer attendee questions through the tech community.
I answered one last night.
Awesome.
Someone posted a question.
On this session?
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't see that one.
I know, because I'm doing your work for you.
It's the first time. So that's one way that you can get in touch and keep in contact with the speakers. This is also how our remote attendees, because remember, sessions are live streamed, that's how they're interacting with us as well. So it's a really cool place to be. So and the tech community is just a cool place to be in general, so set up your account.
techcommunity.microsoft.com, in case you don't know what it is.
Perfect. All right.
Oh, I want to at least show this one to explain it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So your ability to rate sessions and also provide constructive feedback for those sessions is done through the evaluation tool, which is part of your application in your mobile app. So don't forget to go off and download it. And as speakers and as people that look after coordinating content for events and as people that are looking forward to making events better, we do this only through verbatim discussions that happen during evaluations. So please be a good attendee and provide us with quality feedback and also possibly scores and that sort of stuff. I didn't notice what direction the scores are in this year and how they do scores.
So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 as usual.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
5 being good, 1 being bad. Just so you know, 5 is good, 1 bad.
So don't think that we're number 1. Go the other way. It should be 5s if you're happy with things. And if you do rate it lower, please provide some details as to why.
Tell us why. Yeah. Because we can only make it better, right? We live on feedback. So with that being said, let's open it up to your questions. We've got 8 or 9 minutes left. And I want to hear from you guys. What is it that you don't know or you have a question about this event? Because my guess is if you have a question, other people do as well. We kind of guess based on our experience. We want to know what's from you. There are mics at the middle of the room. Otherwise, you can yell at your question and we'll repeat the question so everybody can hear. Don't be shy. I can't see past the room, so if there's somebody at the very back, you can shout, hey, Joey, or hey, Rick, and we can see you. Who wants to start off? Anyone? Bueller. Come on, the session wasn't that good.
We got one.
Oh, there we go.
Come on up, use the mic, or just say hello.
You can shout to us. So his question is, he wants to talk about the people who support Microsoft. So you're talking about the IT folks who support us internally as employees. So there are, some of them are actually working in the Solution Navigator zone, I believe. I would look, I'm trying to think, I know Fast Track is here.
Fast Track's definitely here.
So there's one way to look, and I'm not sure if does the access, we'll have to, I'm gonna look at this real quick. Get your app out and look if you can see somebody from support in the app, if it pulls up by their title. There are some of them are in our solution booth area. They work to help answer the questions at the booth. If you have something specific or a specific support area that you want to give feedback to, let me know, and we will chat. Where's everybody going?
So
I've got stuff to give away. I'm just saying.
Well, I think the gentleman that asked that question should get something for that question.
I do too. What do you have under there? Come up here.
Come on up.
Come on up.
You're going to want to come up for this. You really are.
It's worthwhile. No, it's not something Rick burned. So we have a brand new Surface Go device for you. But you have to take a selfie with us. You have to take a selfie. And turn around. Turn around. No, I don't need a professional photo.
Take a picture of his badge.
Oh yeah, we're gonna take a picture of your badge too. Oh no, that's
Not
me.
the selfie. Don't take a picture of yourself again.
What's wrong with that?
Nice to see you.
Great question, and come see me. I will give you my card if there's something specific, and I'll reach out to the teams.
So
Cool.
I am looking in, I just literally put in, there's a good half dozen or so CSS folks that actually listed themselves as being CSS individuals on the expert finders. CSS stands for customer support.
Yep.
Inside Microsoft. But then also, as we mentioned, there are programs like Fast Track as well. They're listed there too. My bet is you're going to want to go to the solution navigators and then ask around, and they'll be, oh yeah, Susan, she's over there. She's working the information, the identity booth over there.
Oh look, there's people at the microphone now. What, you think we got something?
As I was going through the scheduler, it showed some stuff was full, and it shows like there's no wait list available.
Okay, so it shows some things as full and that there's a wait list. Is it one of the instructor-led or immersion labs?
Noticed there was several of them, but they were all full.
Yeah, so there are some immersion labs and instructor-led lab sessions that needed to be signed up for in advance. We have taken the note that we need to better communicate that to attendees well and ahead of time. That being said, some of you very smart people may have signed up for every single one of them in every single time slot.
Yeah.
We may be coming back to you going, are you sure you really want to do this so we can make room for other people? So there will be a wait list. That wait list has been clearing people. I sound like I'm at the airline. We'll be clearing you in the order of your, by order of
order of first
your
class
fare
upgrade.
and your status. No. So we'll be clearing it out. So sign up for the wait list. Those are those immersion sessions. There may be some sessions that get overly full, but we're not stopping. You don't have to sign up to take a session. We want you to add the session to your schedule.
That helps us load balance across the different rooms.
Yeah, and then when you scan in, it identifies that you've got that in there so you can do the eval like right away. But in terms of those, if you're really interested in one of those experiences, sign up, get on the wait list, and hopefully we'll clear them out. Also, the other thing too is when you're there, I don't know if they actually have, and I'm gonna.
There's a check-in desk.
There's a check-in desk. So go check at the check-in desk before the session to see if there's room. Because what tends to happen is that people sign up for all these things and they don't show up.
So
Cool? Awesome. Next.
You said you guys are in the center and the areas are broken down on the sides. Are they broken down into smaller groups? I mean, security is a huge area, so if I'm looking in the security
Yeah.
corner.
So it's a little corner, right? That just, it kind of sits there. But we are broken down. You can look at these there's these big cubes and it has the products that's on them. And if you're not sure what product it is that's going to help solve your particular issue, our solution navigators can help you, or come talk to one of us. That's where my booth is, and we kind of know some of our other colleagues inside of security. Identity, for some reason, kind of tends to sit in the middle of this stuff, so we get to know a lot of our colleagues. Is there something specific you were looking for?
I'm interested in the advanced protections.
Yeah, so their booth is right next to ours. Like it's right, like if you walk down, we call this, you see that main drive that runs down to the eatery and to Learn, Connect, Explore, we call that the boulevard. They are literally, if you turn from the identity booth, which sits right at the corner, that's the next booth over. You can't miss it. There's signs.
Yeah, so
And if you do miss it, grab one of somebody or a purple shirt and they can get you directed to that.
Yeah, so
they do go deeper. We go deeper inside. So Modern Workplace, you're going to go to Windows 10. And then inside of Modern Workplace, you've got FIDO2 booth. You've got Windows Hello. You've got deployment. So we go deeper into the technologies, but we try to keep these kind of higher level like pathways, so to speak.
Okay, so start at the higher pathway and they can point.
Yes, start at the higher level navigators or the central discussion areas for security deployment, developer tools.
And if there's a particular product, you can search in and tell you the booth number too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome?
Yep.
Awesome. You had a question here in front. Yeah. Yeah, so his question is, inside of our schedule builder, they do not have the partner-led things that are happening at their booths and other events that are going on, and that is true, yes. The only partner sessions that we actually have inside the schedule builder are those that we've worked directly with that partner to host inside of a breakout room. They're partner websites, if you're looking for a specific thing, none of the evening events are posted, because there's 20, 30 a night from various partners because they're not open to everybody.
Yeah.
It's an invite only if you're their customer. So their website are the best thing. Look, the best thing to do is come talk to us, right? Whether we're a Microsoft person or your partner or you're working with a company, go talk to them and have a conversation with them. And that's the best way to find out because they're doing demos and all sorts of stuff at their booths. That's an awesome question though. Thank you. Yeah, good to know. Yeah, so not every party that's running around on your International Drive is open to everybody.
One last one and call it,
Yeah.
because we're over.
So I see that people who have not booked for pre-conference day, they have an option that you can go and say find sessions between a gap. When I click on it, it takes me to the labs. And when I select to try to book the lab is not available during the day. So there's a conflict between the event builder and session builder.
Okay, that's great feedback, and thank you for that. So apparently, you have the ability, it says that the labs are open today, but you can't book a lab because they're not open today. We'll get that feedback into the app team and let them know. If for some reason, I gotta quit shouting. If for some reason you're not able to book an instructor-led lab or an immersion lab experience, it's because they are full, as I mentioned earlier. So wait list for that. But today, I do not believe that the lab area is open yet today. Because that's part of the expo area, which doesn't open until tomorrow morning. Okay? So you've got some time to just kind of hang out if you're not registered for a pre-day. You want to chat? We can chat. I'm open for it, all right?
And with that, we are going to be at time because we are over. And I want to
But we're going to stand around. Look,
we're not going anywhere.
if you want to ask questions, there's nobody else coming into this room. Those guys want to go eat, but they're audio guys. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're nice. I mean, they can turn off my microphone, so I should probably be nice to them. But if you guys have other questions, ask them. If not, please fill out your evals. Have a fantastic week, and come say hello to us. Enjoy Ignite, everybody.